I have to say, if I was on death row and I had to decide one meal, this meal that we've just had would probably be it. Good afternoon, guys. Welcome back to Journey Across Japan, never-ending adventure of wonder. Today we're in the vibrant port town of Kobe. Before I get back on my bike and carry on cycling across Japan to Kagoshima, we thought we'd come here, hang out and enjoy some rather delicious food, which you could probably know what it is because you've seen the title of the video. But joining me as we eat this delicious food is my third guest of the trip, and it's his last day. Joining us is Pete Donaldson.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Port of Kobe, open to foreign visitors and foreign trade in 1858.
How do you know that?
It was on the wall in Starbucks.
Is that how you get all your knowledge?
Yes.
Off the walls of Starbucks.
Yep.
So Pete and I do a podcast, the Abroad in Japan podcast. It's the original name.
Subscribe.
Subscribe, it's great. It's in the
Listen.
link below. And back in March, Pete was interviewing Bryan Cranston on his radio show. And I said to Pete, if you can get Bryan Cranston to shout out the Abroad in Japan podcast, I will literally buy you Kobe beef. Very expensive meal. I didn't think it was going to happen, but he pulled it off, look.
Hi, I'm Bryan Cranston, and you're listening to Abroad in Japan.
And now we've got to do it. Now I've actually got to get him Kobe beef. So it's about 4 PM. We're about to drop into a restaurant and we're about to eat the most decadent, juiciest beef in the whole world.
You said I was the juiciest beef in the whole wide world.
The moment you set foot in a teppanyaki grill restaurant serving Kobe beef, you're struck by the rich, sweet scent of the marbled fat streaking through the meat that makes Wagyu so iconic. Whilst Wagyu simply means Japanese beef, within Japan many regions have their own cuts, such as Matsuzaka-gyu, which is typically the most expensive, and Miyazaki-gyu, which has won the most awards domestically in recent years. But it's Kobe beef that remains the most famous internationally, often confused with the word Wagyu itself. All Kobe beef is sourced from Tajima cattle, born, raised and slaughtered in Hyogo Prefecture, of which there are only a few thousand. And even then, only the finest cuts are graded and sold as A5 Kobe beef.
We just asked how much that piece of meat would cost and he says basically the same as a car.
Car-priced beef chunk.
You could probably run a car on the oil that's in that, to be fair.
I love how quietly you're talking as though we're in a library.
I'm giving the beef the respect it deserves. Good beef deserves whispering. It's like a library of meat.
Oh, cheers. To Bryan Cranston.
To Bryan
Bryan Cranston.
What does A5 mean?
A5. So A5 is the highest rank of Wagyu beef. You often see A5 Wagyu beef, right, wherever you go.
So it's not like the size of it, like printer paper?
It's not like printer paper, no,
No.
It's better than printer paper. To be A5, the beef is ranked on 4 criteria. There's the marbling intensity, so how much fat is streaking throughout beef.
Yeah.
The colour of the fat as well. The colour of the muscle tissue itself, aka the meat, the little bit of meat that's in between the fat, and the shape of the muscle as well. And I definitely didn't read that off my phone. I'm an expert.
When cooking Kobe beef, some of the fat is trimmed and used to lubricate the grill, so no butter or oils are necessary, which could intrude on the pure flavour of the beef. The aim is to sear the steak, just warming and melting the fats within, but not truly cooking them. A delicate process given the low melting point of the fat at just 26 degrees Celsius. In fact, if you cut off a slice of the fat and touch it, you can feel it start to melt with a texture more reminiscent of ice cream. Next, it's seasoned with salt and pepper and periodically rested for typically twice the length of time that it's been cooked, giving it the perfect medium to rare finish. Watching this culinary art form unfold before you is tantamount to torture, but the reward is certainly worth the wait.
I think the chef must have like the weakest hands in the entirety of the chefing world, because
The weakest hand?
yeah, because you don't need to cut that using any kind of pressure at all. You could torque that meat apart. That's how soft it looks. There's no pressure there. It's wonderful.
There's a variety of ways you can enjoy the beef. There's salt, there's pepper and mustard, there's soy sauce, and there's ponzu, which is like soy sauce with vinegar. They recommend that you have the beef with salt, so you just dab it into the salt, and it's actually quite a thick chunk of beef, surprisingly thick. Oh my god, the moment you put it in your mouth, you can feel your tongue salivate, you can feel your whole mouth erupt. The moment this goes on your tongue, you can feel your mouth start to water.
I usually don't like watching TV programmes where like fat Westerners eat like amazing food and go, oh, it's heaven. But I think I might have gone blind. That's how good this is. It's so good. It's that first bite, just goes straight through. Even if you just flavour it slightly with a bit of salt, maybe a little bit of mustard. Oh, it's incredible. Thanks, Chris, and thanks, Brian Cranston.
I have to say, if I was on death row and I had to decide one meal, this meal would probably be it. The thing with Wagyu, the thing with Kobe beef is, with 250 grams, it's kind of just the perfect amount because it is very buttery, it's very rich, and I think if you have more, it might be a little bit overwhelming on your stomach.
Yeah, you'd be slamming antacids until next Tuesday, to be honest.
Slamming antacids, another potential name for your indie rock band. Another thing I really like about going out for steak, teppanyaki, there's a sort of theatrical quality to it. And watching the chef cook the meal is half the fun of coming out for teppanyaki, it's half the fun of coming out for Wagyu beef. So I don't even want to eat my beef because I just don't want it to end. You know, on like Call of Duty, you have your last hand grenade, you want to hold it back, you want to keep it in reserve. That's how I feel about this beef. I don't want to use it, I want to look at it, I want to admire it, I want to know that I'm going to eat it, but not eat it. I don't want it to end.
Imagine if you're like minted, I presume
Minted.
like an emperor or something.
Minted like an emperor.
When you came down here in your big emperor's car and had this every day.
Every day.
Dead within a week.
You would be
Guaranteed.
Yeah, you would be dead within a week. The cholesterol would be off the charts. Like,
yeah, but but at the mortuary, everyone would be like, that looks like a happy corpse.
well, Pete, the heavenly dinner is almost over. How do you feel?
It just kept coming, Chris. It was relentless. It was a beef assault, but it was just incredible. Some of the best food I think I've ever eaten in my entire life.
Oh, also goes really well with red wine, doesn't it?
Yeah, that is classic beef staple, isn't it? A bit of red wine. It's a little bit tart, a little bit brackish.
What are these words I've never heard of? Brackish. Yeah. What is brackish? Is that even a word? I've travelled with 3 guests on this trip so far. I've had Joey from Australia, Charlotte from Canada, and Pete from the UK. Interesting fact, I've understood Charlotte and Joey more than I have Pete. He's from northern UK.
Northern UK.
Northern UK. But I don't know what he's saying most of the time. I just sort of nod along going, yeah, that word you said. But if you could summarise this meal, this decadent meal, in 2 words, Mr. Donaldson, what would those 2 words be?
Arigato gozaimasu.
If you plan to visit a teppanyaki restaurant for Kobe beef, it's very important to do your homework as there have been instances of restaurants taking advantage of tourists. Some restaurants claim to sell Kobe beef when actually they're just selling beef in Kobe. Other restaurants sell low quality cuts of Kobe beef that don't make A5 grade. If you are going to try Kobe beef, don't walk into a restaurant on a whim off the street. Do your research carefully online or ask around and make sure you enjoy the real thing. After all, there's no doubt it is one of the most incredible dining experiences you're likely to have in Japan.
If you're wondering how much this meal cost, guys, it's 250 grams of Kobe beef, and it came in at about 15,000 yen or $150. So it is pricey. It is a once in a year annual meal at best. But fortunately, this time, though I did say I was paying for Pete for the Brian Cranston shout out, it's actually Tokyo Creative, my agency, who have been supporting me through this cycle. So a big thank you to Tokyo Creative for buying us a wonderful meal and making it look like I paid for it when I didn't.
Well, Chris treated me to a $300 meal, so I thought I'd treat him to a 100 yen, $1 coolish ice cream.
It's quite good.
It's not a bad finish. It really just put the icing on the cake, so to speak.
Well, we've had a lot of fun together. We've seen the monkeys of Kyoto, we've explored the neon-lit streets of Osaka, and now we've eaten a mountain of beef. But for now, that's all. That's it.
All right, I'm off.
Goodbye, Mr. Pete Donaldson.
All right.
Safe travels back to the UK.
I don't know how to get home.
You'll find out. Google Maps, mate. Google Maps, right.
Suitcase.
We'll be back tomorrow, guys, where I'll be carrying on the journey to Himeji Castle and ultimately onto Kagoshima for the next leg of our journey across Japan. But for now, no matter where you might be watching from out there in the big wide world, thanks for being a part of Journey Across Japan today, guys, and I will see you right back here tomorrow to do it all over again. Have a good one.
There's a storm coming. And when he gets here, there's no escaping him. Well, at least for 2 or 3 days.
Good morning, everyone. And now I'm joining the tour.